Hello friends, welcome to the ASP.NET Core tutorial series. In this video, we will see what is developer exception page in ASP.NET Core application. Before proceeding with this tutorial, I recommend you please watch part 14 of this tutorial series where we have understand about www root folder and the static files, like how we use static file in ASP.NET Core application. So let's understand what is developer exception page in ASP.NET Core application. So this is the application, like the project which we are working, and this is the use file server middleware which we have seen in the previous tutorial. And the use of this file server, like it is used to take care about the static files and the default file name that we have seen in the previous tutorial. In this tutorial we will see the use of developer exception page middleware. And we know in the ASP.NET Core application, whenever we are going to use anything in ASP.NET, we have to use the respective middleware, and in that way we work with the ASP.NET Core application. So let's understand what is the use of exception page. With the name indicate, like this middleware is used to taking care of the exception, and we see the trace regarding the page exception if we find anything. So for that, let's throw one error exception from this run middleware. So I'm throwing one exception, and let's give that exception name exception. So I'm giving the message as throw exception. Now let's run this application and see what we see on the browser. So when I run this application, still we don't see this exception, and we are looking only the home page, means the page which we are default page which we are calling using the use file server middleware. And the reason is that, like in the previous tutorial, we have seen the request pipeline process of ASP.NET Core application. So in that, like first what it do, it see all the middleware as a use routing, use developer exception page, and then it come to the middleware use file server, and it find it here, and it navigate to the home.html page, and from there it reverse to the back, and based on that we don't find any exception. Now let's run this application again. When I run this application again and I navigate to the specific page which we don't have in our application called xyz.html. So when I navigate to this respective page, we are looking like we are finding the exception which we have written there in run middleware. So when I expand this one, we can see the full exception trace here, like it is giving like the place from where we are getting the exception. And when I go to the query, we are not finding because we didn't give any query string here, and we don't have any cookies, and it is giving the headers which we are having with respect to the respective error, and we don't have the routing, that's why it is empty. Now let's give the query string to this one. So if I will give something like x equal to 2, and we don't have this page xyz.html, we are getting the exception. We can expand and see the error trace, like what is the error. And when we navigate to this query tag, then we can see the whatever the query string we have given, x equal to 2, we are finding that one here. So in that manner, this exception page, what it do, it contain the full history related to the exception, and it is very easy for the developer to trace the exception if we find in any page. So that is the use of this one. And now what is happening, like when it come to this middleware use file server, what it find for the xyz.html, and we don't have that page inside in the www root folder. That's why it go to the next middleware, and in this middleware we are throwing the exception, and same we see on the browser. Now let's take this middleware exception middleware after this throw middleware, and when I run this application and navigate to the page which we don't have in our application, so let's navigate to that page, we are seeing like we are not looking exception. Now it is giving the HTTP error called 500, like it is not able to find the page. And the reason we are not able to find the like exception here, because in this middleware it is throwing the exception, and then it from here it gives the response. It is not go for the next middleware. So it's always a good practice, like this use developer exception page middleware, always we should put as like when the program start, like as soon as it is possible, we should use this developer exception page. So that is the use of the developer exception page. It is used to trace all the information related to the error. Even we can customize our developer exception page as per our requirement. So when we see the overloaded method, what this function take, and when we go for the next one and we see like it is taking exception page options from here, and through that we can customize our use developer exception page. So let's take this and let's see like what it gives. So I will take as a exception equal to new exception, and here we have source code line count, and the use of that I will show you in a bit. So once I will take this as a source code count here, and I pass this inside the exception, and when I run this application and we navigate to the page which we don't have in our application, and when I navigate to this one, we see like the place where we are having the exception, it has the 10 rows up and 10 rows down, means it has the full history related to the exception, and it is very easy to read us the reason behind the exception, and we can read through this one. Like you can expand and see the 10 row top and the 10 row down, and the reason is that because we have given source code line count as a 10. Now instead of 10, if I will give 1, then let's see what it gives. It should give as a 1 line at top and 1 line at down. So let's navigate to that page, and when I will navigate to this one, we can see like 1 line at top and 1 line at down. So this is the way of using the developer exception page option in ASP.NET Core application, and the use of developer exception page in application, like it is used to trace exception whenever we get any exception in any middleware into the ASP.NET Core application. So that's it for this tutorial. If you have any question and doubt, please comment. Thank you.